Hello all, and welcome to tonight's beer review. Kind of a sad little beer review because my landlady's cat is missing, and prospects are a little bit grim, but I'm going to do my best to deliver a beer review with the usual verve and enthusiasm that I want to do. Because tonight's tonight's going to be a pretty interesting one. This is a Lorenzini double IPA from Maui Brewing. This is their limited release for the moment. There's quite a bit printed on it, and it's got a nice can. Look at that shark there. It's a nice tiger shark, which is the shark you're likely to encounter here in Hawaii. Doesn't attack very often, despite their large numbers in Hawaiian waters. I've seen them a couple times. They are quite a sight to see, especially when you, like me, if you're like me and you saw one inside of a crowded sailboat filled with fellow 10-year-olds. Let's just say that was a very interesting ride back to the dock there. Okay, so let me go and read them. Very lots of text back here. In collaboration with the biologists from the Shark Research Program at the Hawaii Institute of Marine Biology, this team uses satellite and acoustic tags to monitor the movement behavior drivers of tiger sharks as they overlap. Movement behavior drivers of tiger sharks as they overlap with human use of coastal waters. A portion of proceeds will be donated to the Shark Lab to support shark research. A worthy cause, I might add. This double India Pale Ale was brewed with blood oranges, local citrus, and Maui cane sugar. The deep red hue is a result of the blood orange juice and specialty malts, including chocolate malt. The unique hop profile is made up of Asuka, Eldorado, and Soriachi Ace. This beer is delightfully bitter and aromatic, with notes of tropic fruit, citrus, and of course, fresh orange zest. 7.6, so it's a bit heavy in the ABV, but I've already had a can of this, and it's very light on the palate for a double IPA. And I'm going to be drinking this in the Belgian glass because I kind of wanted to maximize the aromatic quality, since it doesn't produce much head. When you open it, though, you definitely get a real blast of orange zest. That citrus zest just fills your nostrils. I'm going to be giving it a fairly vigorous pour here. You can get yourself a nice finger's worth of thick off-white head. And the color, as you can see here, is orange red. It's almost an amber ale color, to tell the truth. Very nicely red. And immediately, when you sniff the bouquet, you get a very, very strong hit of orange zest, citrus zest. Hoppy pine notes. A smidgen of skunk. Sweet malts. And a hint of that tropical fruit. Whenever they say tropical fruit, I immediately go to passion fruit or lilikoi. This one definitely goes more towards the passion fruit. When combined with the strong orange qualities of this, it really smells like passion orange drink. If you give it a strong hop twist, of course. Carbonation's fairly mild. Obviously, intense hop flavors from start to finish. But what strikes me is the lightness of body. That despite being fairly high gravity, high ABV, it drinks very light on the palate. Not light in flavors, it's obviously intense in flavors, but just the mouthfeel, the texture is light. No booziness, no cloying sweetness. As you would expect from a double IPA, there is that long hop finish. It leaves that bitter taste on the tongue. Compared to other double IPAs, it's fairly muted in comparison. Some of them I've had, it really feels like you still have beer in the mouth. It's so intense. But there's just this medium bittering sort of tannic quality to that finish. Tannic quality is pretty interesting. There's almost like a fruit tea, a fruit infused tea like flavor to the finish. Let me try and get to the front here. Nicely carbonated. Like I said, it doesn't look too carbonated from the front here. But it's nicely carbonated on the tongue, which sort of lends to that lightness of body. The sort of pine resin hop bitterness finish is complicated by it also has that sort of citrus zest bitterness. It's sort of like that you get when you bite into a lemon peel. An orange peel. Lemon peel is very different. I often consider lemon zest to be a category of its own outside the rest of citrus zest because it's just so distinctive. There's a strong hit of orange in the front that sort of peaks mid-palate and, fades into that bitter hopping finish, that citrus zest bitterness. There's just a very light sweetness to it that's throughout until the finish. And that's sort of going on underneath all the rest of it. You don't really notice it right now. Give it about 10 more minutes, say at about the 18-minute point at this. It'll start making itself a little bit more known. But again, it's still very muted compared to a lot of double IPA bodies that I've had. Forgot to say, it's fairly opaque. Well, not opaque, but translucent. So there's some can conditioning going on here. The front is very juicy, but it finishes quite dry. It kind of goes from orange to grapefruit, in the finish. Not too much tropical fruit on the palate. That's okay. I think it's fairly nice as it is. Now, what I like about this particularly is how well they got the balance for the style. Usually the problem in regards to double IPAs is that in order to balance out that incredibly strong hop profile, and I'm probably not admitting it well enough, it's sort of assumed here that the hops are amped up in intensity, but for beer beginners, I'm going to tell you that yes, this is a very hoppy beer. The hops are amped up. I'm just sort of assuming that, and so you can kind of think of when I'm talking hops, it's fairly intense. But I digress. The problem is that they often try to balance this incredible hop intensity by upping the malts to the point that it becomes thick and syrupy, and at its worst, cloying. No problem with that here. They've actually done a very well job in making this light-bodied, yet not hop water, which is, you know, what I call anything that's a session IPA. I'm not a big fan of session IPAs, which is why you've not seen me review one yet. I pretty much consider them the sort of fizzy session IPAs as the craft beer equivalent of, you know, the average fizzy yellow pale lager. So this is quite interesting. Maui tries to brew all their beers so that, you know, it fits Hawaii. Hawaii, you really don't want heavy body because of the way the temperature here is all the time. So to strike that balance where you have the, you know, for the style, that hop intensity, yet kind of keeping with their house standard of lighter bodied ales, yet not having it come across as too light, it's quite a testament to their brewing skill. The juiciness and the zest is amping up as it warms. Sweetness is also kind of raising up a little bit. Hop intensity is staying the same, but overall still very drinkable. And maybe a little bit too drinkable. You probably wouldn't want to go and slam 3 of these in succession, even though you probably feel like you could, because the drinkability is very high. Find as it warms, there's a certain floral aspect to the bouquet. The hops are opening up as it warms in the bouquet. So, you know, as with all good beers, it sort of transitions a bit as the temperature changes. So, I pretty much hit on all the points I want to hit with this. It's an excellent beer. I highly recommend that you get this if you can. And it goes towards a good cause. And why is it called Lorenzini? That comes from the ampullae of Lorenzini within the shark's nose here, which is how it detects scents in the water. It's a very highly evolved and kind of amazing little organ there that allows it to smell blood across vast distances, as well as detect minute electrical changes within the water. As a final note, within the last minute, if you're the kind of person like me who often follows up their beer with a shot of something stronger to finish off the night, I have a little bit of Jefferson's left, and it hit me last night when I was trying this for the first time that the strong citrus profile would go extremely well with the Jefferson bourbon because of the matching strong citrus profile to this bourbon here. So I'm going to go and pour myself a finger of this to enjoy while finishing up the last of this. So it's an excellent pairing. You can get both. I advise you to go and try the pairing as well. But for God's sakes, don't try to go and make, what is it, steamroller, steam engine? Whatever it is where you drop the whiskey in beer. That's just a no-no, man. Don't do that. Just don't do that. as far as it's not even a good cocktail. You know, I'm not such a purist. I don't believe in mixing drinks. I just believe that steam, whatever the fuck it is not a very good cocktail. So, excuse my language. I usually don't. I try to keep my usual saltiness to the language. I kind of muted in this. So, Lorenzini Double IPA, great beer, another hit out of the park from Maui Brewing, and it's for a good cause. Go out, get yourself some, and try it if you can. And if you can't, well, come to Hawaii. It's a good reason. Beer is booming here. There's more breweries coming down the line, and I hope to go and try them and give reviews of them to you. And I believe that's your beer review for tonight, folks. Cheers.